everybody. Welcome back to the House of Rabs. Give yourselves
upsetting Torah.
Oh, I thought you were looking at the Foreskin Man comic strip. Hey everybody, give yourselves a round of applause for coming out here tonight to the House of Rabs. We're broadcasting to you live, or if you're watching on YouTube video, you're watching a replay of it. I'm Rabbi Rabs, and with me tonight is my co-host, the very holy Levi ben Abraham, aka Luke Ford. Everybody give him a round of applause. Yeah, okay, we got a big show tonight. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Wow! So many things to discuss. Where do we want to start, Levi?
Well, when a wife is needed, a husband should not place an object into her pocket.
Into her lady pocket? You think that's what they're talking about?
Or even into her handbag, shopping bag, or anything else that she's carrying.
Okay.
So I think that's very important. I'd just like to say that for my ball of bottom out there.
I think it's always important to start a show with some
real Torah.
Some real Torah, some divrei Torah, some halachas. Right? I think that's very important.
And particularly when there's so much impurity out there. Like,
there's filth and debris.
Oh,
scum.
I mean, the things that are being sent over Twitter.
Oh my God!
Just shocks and appalls me.
You know, when a wiener is on a twatter. Oh, did I say that? There's something just interesting about the headline. You know, it's just like it's a headline ready. It's just dick jokes ready to go.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So, like, Bill Clinton totally deserved it. Anthony Weiner totally deserves it.
Schwarzenegger deserved it.
Schwarzenegger deserves it.
Edwards
totally deserved it.
But here's the thing. There's different crimes committed by you, but there's different ones. There's one where, like, you can't stop showing yourself. Like Brett Favre, we talked about that at great length last year, right? Right? So this
yes.
This one is on same caliber. Is Brett Favre married?
Yes. And his wife wrote a book about overcoming breast cancer.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's almost like Edwards.
Yeah.
These guys are all intertwined. It's like they get married, like they become a celebrity, and they get married, and their wife, like Nebuch, has cancer or something, and so they start tweeting
and then
pictures of their genitals.
Then people give them a hard time for cheating on their wife when she has cancer. Like, what better time? Like, what's he going to do?
Okay.
Oh, tonight, honey, let's do it again. You know, let's hope your cancer doesn't act too bad.
Okay.
Like, if a wife is immobilized by cancer, what do you expect the husband to do?
You know, you turn off every woman in the world when you talk about that.
I just speak truth.
Like when you
Truth
said,
to power.
Like when you said that, how many women, how many out there, women in the audience, turned on to this guy and really got into him when he said that when a woman turns like 40 and she starts to sag, he's got to start thinking about younger women when he's with her in bed. I mean, that one's got to have really brought in a lot of chicks your way.
I'm going to talk about my hatred of women on tonight's show.
As opposed to?
Well, I know this is going to come as a big shock to me.
As opposed to any other show? I mean, like, hello, headlines, hello, newsflash.
Excuse me if I like women who are young and taut rather than saggy and old.
Okay.
God made me this way.
So I'm thinking the first thing I want to talk about is a carryover from last week, right? I put out a video. I took the highlights of last week's 2-hour show, which was a great show, by the way. If you didn't see it, whew, you really missed something. Which was when I went off on the Santa Monica thing. And boy, this thing blew up in the last 7 days. And it really, this whole thing, this whole story about the penises really came to a climax this afternoon, wouldn't you say? But no, really, the whole thing climaxed this afternoon. Yeah. All right, so let's go into that one first because it's really topical. A lot happened. First of all, I want to get this up. D-Medic, welcome to the.
Hey, thanks for the money, D-Medic.
Money talks in this show. We'll get to that later, but yeah, money definitely talks.
Sweet.
Yeah. Hey, D-Medic. Hey, Michelle, and hey, Boy Wonder Henry. Good to see you guys in here. And a big shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. Okay. So last week I put out this video, right? I mean, I said I went off on the whole Santa Monica thing, and I called them a bunch of anti-Semites, and I was proved right. I couldn't have more proof. Wow. Let's talk about it. The first thing we saw, well, I mean, not the first thing, but the big thing that happened is, you know, like sometimes evil can't hide itself. You know, when someone's got like a Yetzer Hara and it's really pushing them, they can't control themselves.
Yeah, they have to send it out via Twitter.
Either they send it out via Twitter, or in this case, they have to. They can't just say, "Oh, this is about circumcision," and whether it's we're having a medical argument. You know, it's not like an ethics argument in terms of First Amendment rights. They turned it into 1938 Germany, and they pushed out a comic strip demonizing Jews and putting us in with depictions that the Nazis did horrific stuff in the Holocaust era. And it was just like, oh my God, why don't you just expose your racism, your anti-Semitism, and how much you hate Jews? Why don't you just announce that? Let's obliviate the fact that this used to be an argument about circumcisions, right? And now it's just, let's just round up all the Jews and let's just get this over with and put them on the trains and send them to the camps and finish Hitler's work. You know, and the lamest excuse, the lamest thing I saw, you know, and it's like all over the internet the last few days, I don't know, is it can't be anti-Semitism because all the people behind it are Jews, you idiots. And I'm like we've never heard of a Jewish anti-Semite before? That's like, Google and Jewish anti-Semite, like the thing rolls, you know? I mean, it's just like, we've had them for thousands of years, you know, the Hellenizers, right? I mean, it just goes way back. The Hellenizers and there's so many Jewish anti-Semites. You know, the Bolsheviks who took over Russia come to mind, you know? They also had a problem with religion. And who was the one who said, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Karl Marx was a Jew. If you read some of his literature, filthy, disgusting anti-Semite. Let me think, there was corroborators in the World War II. In World War II, who were Jews? Are you aware of that? Horrible, horrible people. You know, and Jews, my personal opinion, the worst anti-Semites are the Jewish ones. And folks, you're seeing a good taste of that right now. Because last week I was talking about how Santa Monica has taken upon itself to do this ban, right? But it turns out that I found out after the fact, it's the same two people behind the Santa Monica ban and behind the one in San Francisco. That it's this Jewish guy named Hess, he should rot in hell, and this Jewish woman named Traubman or something, is that her name? And she should rot in hell. And they basically have this agenda to do away with Judaism and to put religious Jews in a terrible, terrible light and to demonize us and make us phantoms and whatnot. And that's their agenda. And the only people that they can possibly sell this bullshit to are cities that have like, that are breeding grounds for hatred towards religions. And who would that be? Liberals. You have to find a really, really what they call progressive area filled with people who are rabid anti-religious people, and they'll eat this stuff up. There's only a few places I could think of, and they're hitting them. And thank God, basically their agenda got halted this afternoon because, you know, this whole thing went nationwide. When they put out the stupid comic strip, I think on Friday, it was like, it blew up over the weekend. The New York Times, of all people, said like, this is anti-Semitic. I caught it when it was in San Francisco's own newspaper. When it was in San Francisco's own newspaper, and they had called it anti-Semitic, and they called the spade a spade. That's basically when this whole thing started blowing up. So this afternoon, in case you guys don't know the story, the Hitler Youth, what's her name, this woman who's behind it, she called it off. She said, okay, you know what, everybody hates me, and they basically figured out that, you know, I'm part of the SS, so I just say, fuck it, I'm done with it. Which is what Wiener should have done, right? He should have just said, fuck it.
He should have come clean.
He should have come clean last week. We'll get into that. Okay, so she just said, like, fuck it, I'm done here. And they've taken the initiative off the Santa Monica. They're done. They're not going to try to get it on the ballot anymore. Right? So Rav started screaming anti-Semitism last Monday night, right, when he got wind of this. And by the next Monday night, I am happy to tell everybody watched Torah Talks this week. The entire world watched it.